Critique: The Comprehensive Guide to Apologetics. General Editor, Joseph M. Holden. Chapter 6, What is Truth? By Richard G. Howe. The link to the reading of Chapter 6 is in the description below. Now that we've all read it, without further ado, let's get to it. Well, just as this chapter is quite short, my rebuttal will be also short because it's not much of a rebuttal, because I agree with the general premise of how that the correspondence theory of truth is the best theory or model of truth that can aid in our epistemological endeavors or aid in our efforts to understand ourselves and the world around us. Howe briefly explores a couple of other theories of truth, namely the pragmatic theory of truth and the functional theory of truth. The correspondence theory of truth simply states that any truth statement must be compatible with reality. And demonstrably so. That is the reason why your epistemological process is so important. Epistemology asks how humanity can gain knowledge or can know things. And it also offers a process, it describes a process by which a thing or an existent can be known. So my epistemology is based upon presentation and the process I may utilize to ascertain whether an existent or a proposed existent is actually existent is entirely dependent on the proposition itself. But I may utilize Socratic questioning, skepticism for sure I would utilize, and a number of other techniques to try to arrive at what the actual truth of the matter is. But this is another topic that I will discuss at another time. Quote, the pragmatic theory says that a statement is true inasmuch as it works or is practical. Quote, the functional theory says that a statement is true inasmuch as it fulfills the purpose or function that it intended by the one making the statement. There are a few other theories of truth that Howe did not mention, and here are some of them. Coherence theory states truth is compatible within a set of beliefs. Deflationary theory, truth is redundant. Semantic theory, language and it's related to language and formal systems. Constructivist theory, truth is socially constructed. If you are interested, I would strongly encourage doing your own research and drawing your own conclusions. My main contention with this chapter is actually tangential and comes right at the end. Quote, in contrast to the functional or intentional theory of truth, the correspondence theory of truth rightly recognizes that the Bible is true in everything it affirms or teaches precisely because the Bible tells us what really is the case. When we defend Christianity as being true, we want to make sure that our hearers understand that we mean that Christianity corresponds to reality. There are a number of ways where Christianity does not correspond with reality, namely the resurrection. So what's more likely, that resurrection stories in other mythologies and historical accounts did not happen and the gods that they're attributed to do not exist, and that this one resurrection account for your God is true, or that Christianity also made up a resurrection mythology? What's more likely? What's more reasonable to conclude? We have a goose egg for evidence that a human being can resurrect. So what is more likely to be the case that a human being did resurrect once, or that it's just a story, much like the other mythological stories that were circulating, prior to and during the time. We don't have any evidence that a human being can resurrect from the dead. We don't have any evidence that it's even possible a human being can resurrect from the dead. I consider the biblical account of miracles, but the resurrection specifically, epistemologically similar to the resurrection and miracle accounts of other mythologies and historical accounts. Simply put, these claims are unsubstantiated until they can be demonstrated to be true. And it's because of the nature of the claims themselves, and that is to say that they are all dependent upon the supernatural as an existent entity, place, etc. But there's no evidence that even the supernatural exists, and we have no way to investigate. Until we have evidence the supernatural exists and a reliable method to investigate it, I don't know how anybody could say anything definitive about it or make any truth statements about the supernatural in any way, shape, or form. Christianity is true. The further we delve into this book, the more you're going to understand why I do not believe that statement is true. Furthermore, I don't think Howe or his cohorts are arguing for correspondence theory. I think they're arguing for coherence theory, as we just might learn in the very next chapter.
You know what? Nothing. Do you. I don't got time for this. Do you, boo-boo. Do you, boo-boo. You know why? Because I'ma do me. Do you, boo-boo? Do you?
And that's what I got for you today, folks. Per usual, be well on your journey.